Well, the Tory right, of course, is growing in anger, and their calls growing in volume for tax cuts to come in the autumn statement. This is after, I believe, Rishi Sunak has messed up two of his three big chances to present himself as the change candidate that he believes he is. This itself, of course, is an interesting electoral tactic, as he and the Conservatives, well, not he, but the Conservative Party has been in power for 13 years, so it is difficult to present itself as the change party, despite Rishi Sunak saying he will take difficult decisions for a brighter long-term future. I believe these three chances were the two that he's missed so far was his leader speech at the Conservative Party conference, which failed to announce anything significant, and the recent dreary King's speech, again, which failed to announce much new policy as opposed to just rhetoric. There was lots of words, but very little new legislation, just 21 bills, I believe. So I believe Rishi Sunak's final chance, through, of course, Jeremy Hunt, the Chancellor, to present himself as the change candidate or show the electorate something different, is in the autumn statement coming next week. Some people might ask why this spring statement is not a viable or valid chance to present new policy and show change. But I feel that any new policy announced, no matter how radical, in the spring statement would not... the spring statement doesn't leave itself enough time to feed through to the electorate, and so voters will go to the polls feeling much the same as they would have before the spring statement. There's not enough time between that spring statement and the election, whenever it is called, for any policy, as I say, no matter how radical or significant, to take effect and feed through into the economy. And so why is this a good time for Jeremy Hunt, apart from just not being a bad time like the spring statement? Well, because his fiscal headroom has grown from an initial estimated £6 billion to an estimated £13 to £15 billion. This is thanks to fiscal drag, which of course is when high inflation rate rises wages, whilst personal tax thresholds and brackets are frozen, so more people are dragged into paying a higher rate and more tax. And of course, inflation squeezes real-term government spending in the short term. So as I say, he's got a headroom of 13 to 15 billion pounds, which may disappear as well by the spring statement. So again, that is why I believe now in the autumn statement is a good time for tax cuts to come, provided they are targeted and well-tailored tax cuts. So there's some rumours, we've heard it before, of course, but inheritance tax may be looked at by Rishi Sunak and Jeremy Hunt, and also stamp duty, whilst they are looking to avoid likely more inflationary cuts in personal allowances, which, as I say, tend to be more inflationary and a bit more difficult for the government. All of this, why is it significant? Well, it's at a time when the economy is, the resilience in the economy is now fading to a sluggishness. The economy is in desperate need of a helping hand. Just yesterday, we had the growth figures out. In the last quarter, the economy flatlined. That is at 0% growth. And the Bank of England estimates, as its interest rates hikes begin to set in the next 12 to 18 months, because of course these things tend to operate with long and variable lag times, they have forecasted that there is likely to be a recession next year, and we will follow the course of Germany. As I say, all of this is, I find, whilst politically sensible, I'm not sure it'll be politically persuasive, because it is, of course, the Tory party who have presided over years of tax rises, despite being the party of business and low taxes. And we are now left with the highest tax burden in 70 years. But whilst all of this isn't great, I fear Labour wouldn't be much better. But ultimately, as I have said before, I don't think there is much ideological difference between the two parties, between the opposition Labour Party and this non-conservative Tory party.